Stop what you are doing and listen to me. Truly listen, because the next few minutes will determine whether you spend the rest of your life as a drifter or as a king. Look around you. The world is full of men who wish for wealth, and they constantly hope for success while begging for a lucky break. But the universe does not respond to beggars. It responds to commanders. It responds only to the man who has taken absolute ruthless control over the battlefield between his own ears. If you cannot discipline your thoughts today, you will never command your reality tomorrow. Chaos in the mind always breeds chaos in the bank account, and you know this is the truth. There is a specific kind of tired that you know all too well. You work hard every single day. You read the books and you set the goals. You put in the hours while the rest of the world sleeps, but the breakthrough you were promised never seems to arrive. It feels as though you are driving with the emergency brake pulled tight. I am here to tell you that this is not a lack of effort. You do not have a motivation problem at all. You have a programming problem. Deep within the architecture of your subconscious mind, there is an outdated script running on a loop. This hidden script is quietly sabotaging every conscious step you take toward wealth. You are fighting an invisible enemy. Until you rewrite that script, every empire you try to build will collapse. It will fall under the weight of your unseen fears because your mind is working against you. Society teaches you to burn yourself out chasing money. This is exactly why millions of men work themselves into an early grave and still die broke. You have been lied to your entire life by a broken system. They told you that endless hustle is the only way up. They told you that relentless networking is the master key to freedom. But you know deep down that something is completely wrong. If hard work was the only requirement for success, you would be a millionaire by now. You see people who work half as hard living in absolute abundance. They seem to attract wealth and opportunities effortlessly. Meanwhile, you are counting pennies and wondering where you went wrong on your journey. You are not crazy. The gap between your current bank account and the life of the 1% is not a lack of hustle. It is not poor financial planning, and it is definitely not a failure to visualize your ultimate desires. Your mind is simply operating on the wrong frequency. You are trapped in a survival wave. Every time you stress over bills, you reinforce this survival wave. You wake up with a tight chest. You go to sleep with a heavy mind. Your subconscious is a tireless contractor, and it takes the anxiety you feel before bed to build your reality for the next morning. You are literally programming your own failure while you rest. But what if you could hijack that system completely? What if you could use those dark hours to commission wealth, extreme clarity, and unshakable confidence? The truth is that wealth is not chased. Wealth is magnetized by a disciplined mind. You do not get what you want in this life, you only get what you are. Before we dive deeper, I want to plant a seed in your mind. There is something hidden from the public. It is something discovered, not in a motivational book, but inside a classified laboratory. It is a biological secret funded by elite billionaires, and it has been completely verified by top-tier neuroscience. It finally explains everything. It explains something I know you have felt for years. It clarifies the frustrating gap between the wealth you visualize and the reality you wake up to. I will reveal exactly what this is before we finish today. But first, you must understand the deep architecture of your own mind. So hold this important question in your thoughts as we continue. Are you ready to hear the undeniable truth? What if your struggle to attract abundance is not a lack of hustle? What if it is a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on? You have spent years trying to manifest wealth while your internal receiver is completely powered down. You end up chasing money endlessly, while the elite simply let it flow to them effortlessly. It is a massive biological block. This block is passed down from generation to generation. It is quietly sabotaging your highest potential right now without you even noticing it. Most people will go to their graves believing they just did not work hard enough. You are not most people. You clicked on this message because you are a creator. You are completely tired of being a consumer who just reacts to the world around him. You are ready to initiate and lead. The consumer lets society dictate his fate. The creator forces reality to bend to his will. You have felt the call to greatness deep in your bones for a very long time. But perhaps you do not yet know how to structure that immense power. Today we will tear down the weak habits of the average drifting man. We will install the mental framework of the 1% into your mind. Prepare yourself for this shift. You must stop playing the victim to your circumstances right now. Society is perfectly designed to keep you distracted and exhausted. They want you scrolling on your phone and constantly worrying about the news. A distracted mind is a powerless mind. When your attention is scattered, your energy is scattered. And where your energy goes, your physical reality will always follow. You must become the gatekeeper of your mind starting today. You must ruthlessly filter out every negative thought that tries to enter your sacred space. This is not just a motivational concept. This is a rigid law of the universe. I want you to think about the last time you felt truly powerful. It was a moment of absolute clarity. There was no doubt in your mind. You knew exactly what you had to do, and you executed it flawlessly without any hesitation. That state of flow is your natural state of being. You just forgot how to access it daily. The anxiety and the fear are foreign invaders in your mind. They do not belong to you. You inherited them from a world that profits directly from your insecurity. It is time to evict those invaders forever. The old you must step aside so the sovereign commander can take the throne. The time for drifting is officially over. Let us begin the work. Let us begin. Principle 1. You must understand that the universe works by law and not by clock. The seasons change exactly when they are supposed to. Gravity pulls things down without fail, and your mind operates under laws that are just as rigid. Every thought you hold is a seed planted in the soil of your reality. Every action is water for that seed. And your physical reality is simply the harvest. Good or bad, rich or poor, the soil does not care what you plant. It will return exactly what you give it. This is not philosophy. That is absolute law. The problem is never the soil, but always the seed. Most men spend their entire lives planting seeds of fear and expecting a harvest of massive wealth. This fundamental misunderstanding divides the world into two distinct groups. There is the drifter and there is the creator. The drifter is the man who lets society dictate his fate. He wakes up and immediately checks his phone to consume the news. He reacts to everything around him. He complains about the economy while waiting for someone to save him from his miserable life. The consumer waits and consumes and reacts. He operates entirely on hope. He hopes for a better job. He hopes for a lucky break. But hope is a strategy for the weak. The creator does not hope for anything. He decides what he wants. He initiates action. And he leads his life with the cold calmness of a sovereign commander who expects his orders to be followed. The creator is the true architect of destiny. He understands that drifting is the ultimate enemy of greatness. A wrong decision is always better than no decision at all. The drifter avoids making choices because he fears failure. But the master of fate knows that failure is just data. He collects that data and adjusts his approach without any emotional attachment. Now let me make this plain. Why does the drifter struggle so hard even when he reads the same books as the creator? Why can you practice the law of attraction for years with absolutely zero results? You visualize the money. You write down the goals. You try to think positively while your bank account continues to drain. You feel like a total failure. But here is the brutal truth the elite do not want you to know. The reason the universe responds to the 1% and leaves the rest of the world struggling is not because they work harder than you. It is not because they visualize better, and it certainly is not because they have stronger discipline. It is entirely biological. It is a hidden physical advantage. Deep inside your brain is a tiny walnut-sized region called the hippocampus. In the insanely wealthy people, this region is thick and highly developed. It is constantly broadcasting a microscopic frequency. This frequency literally pulls money and opportunities and extreme luck toward them like a giant vacuum. They attract success effortlessly everywhere they go. But for the average person, the reality is much darker. Because you were not born into an 8-figure family, you inherited a severe biological disadvantage. Science calls it a shrunken hippocampus. Instead of broadcasting a powerful wealth frequency, your brain is trapped broadcasting a survival wave. It keeps you stuck in a constant state of panic and lack, and the modern world is completely designed to keep it exactly that way. Endless stacks of bills and exhausting hustle culture are meant to suppress your mind. Constant financial anxiety keeps you trapped. Every time you stress over money, this tiny region shrinks a little more. Your natural ability to attract abundance is pushed deeper and deeper into dormancy. This is why you can read every self-help book with absolutely zero results. You are trying to manifest wealth while your internal receiver is completely powered down. You end up chasing money endlessly. Meanwhile, the elite simply let it flow to them effortlessly without breaking a sweat. It is a biological block passed down from generation to generation. This block is quietly sabotaging your highest potential every single day. Most people will go to their graves believing they just did not work hard enough. But you are not most people. And remember the question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago. I asked, what if your struggle was just a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on? Do you remember that question? You are about to see that the answer is scientifically proven. It is closer than you could ever imagine. But before we get there, you need to fully accept your current position. You cannot outwill a misprogrammed mind. You cannot force a broken machine to produce a perfect product. The drifter ignores this biology and continues to push against a concrete wall. The creator stops pushing. He steps back and equips himself with the right knowledge. He understands that his mind is currently operating on a deficit. He does not blame himself for the shrunken hippocampus, but he takes absolute responsibility for fixing it. He becomes the mental gatekeeper who refuses to let the survival wave dictate his future any longer. Are you beginning to understand the grand deception? You were told that poverty was a character flaw. You were told that if you just hustle harder, the wealth would finally come. But hustling with a survival wave is like running on a treadmill. You sweat and bleed and cry, but you never actually move forward. You just burn out and collapse from exhaustion. This is the exact moment you must make a choice. Will you continue to operate as a drifter who blames the world, or will you embrace the path of the Creator? The Creator knows that the universe operates on strict frequencies. If you want to change the broadcast, you must first repair the radio, and repairing that radio requires a totally different approach. We are going to look closely at the titans of industry. We will see how they managed to bypass this biological limitation. They did not just stumble into greatness by accident. They utilized very specific laws to expand their minds and rewrite their frequencies. Listen to me carefully. The evidence I am about to share will shatter everything you thought you knew. Let us look to the example of the great titans of history. How did men with very little formal education build the largest empires in human existence? The drifter believes it was a mere coincidence. He thinks they were born with special talents, and he constantly uses their success to justify his own lack of discipline. But the Creator knows that the universe does not operate on random chance. It operates on strict alignment. Thomas Edison did not rely on endless physical labor to invent the modern world. He used a very specific mental protocol to access the frequency of absolute genius. Edison would hold steel balls in his hands while drifting into a nap in his chair. And when his body finally relaxed into sleep, the sudden sound of the falling steel would wake his mind instantly. He did this to capture the exact thoughts from his subconscious mind. He bypassed the conscious noise and tapped directly into the frequency of abundance. He did not wait for a good idea to arrive. He commanded his mind to fetch the exact blueprint he needed for his next massive breakthrough. This is the timeless wisdom that the elite 1% fiercely protect today. Nikola Tesla operated on the exact same hidden law. Tesla would visualize his complex machines with absolute perfection before ever touching a physical tool. He did not expect failure. He formulated his reality entirely in his mind first, because he understood that every single thought is a physical force in this universe. He was a true architect of destiny. These men were not guessing. They understood the deep architecture of the human mind. They knew that wealth and genius are simply byproducts of a disciplined frequency. The masses look at their achievements and call it an unexplainable miracle. But the sovereign commander looks at their lives and sees a clear biological mechanism at work behind the scenes. What is controlling your mind today? Is it fear of the future or doubt about your own abilities? Before we go any further, I have to share a breakthrough that changes absolutely everything. There is something the elite billionaires have spent vast fortunes to keep hidden from the public. They profit heavily from your endless hustle and your constant financial anxiety. But a rogue neuroscientist, formerly working on classified CIA experiments, recently leaked a shocking discovery. He and a team of top-tier researchers found a way to wake up that dormant wealth frequency. They discovered how to rapidly reverse the terrible effects of a shrunken hippocampus, and they did not do it through decades of exhausting meditation. They did not require relentless journaling or waking up at 4 in the morning. They discovered something infinitely simpler and far more powerful for the human brain. They engineered a precise acoustic wave, and this perfectly calibrated 7-minute sound frequency is designed to bypass your conscious limitations. When listened to, this specific acoustic wave changes your entire reality. It directly stimulates that tiny region of your brain responsible for attracting wealth. 4 independent neuroscience labs have already verified this powerful mechanism. Researchers on the campuses of Harvard and Yale are observing this exact brainwave activation right now. They found that once this unique frequency is heard by the human ear, the biological shift is completely undeniable. It forces the brain to stop broadcasting the weak survival wave immediately. It flips the switch on your natural biological ability to attract massive wealth. It is a completely effortless daily protocol you do at home. Just 7 minutes a day is required, and the energetic shift begins the very first time you listen while you drink your morning coffee. The elite keep this technology isolated because they know the power of a fully awake population. If every man understood how to activate his own internal wealth vacuum, the entire system of control would collapse overnight. They want you trapped in the cycle of endless labor. They need you exhausted so you never have the energy to question their supreme authority over your life. I will tell you exactly what this is called before this message ends. I will show you exactly how you can access this frequency for yourself. But first, there is one final piece of the puzzle you must understand. You need to know why the law of attraction has been failing you all these years. It is a harsh truth you must face today. You are carrying a heavy energetic block inherited from a system that wants you poor. The drifter will hear this science and still choose blind doubt. He will retreat to his comfortable misery. The Creator recognizes the truth immediately, and he equips his mind with the ultimate weapon because he refuses to remain a victim. He knows his receiver must be repaired. This is where modern neuroscience perfectly aligns with ancient spiritual laws. They both confirm that your external world is just a mirror of your internal frequency. When you fix the internal receiver, the external reality must bend to match it. That is a universal guarantee. Now we must prepare your mind for the profound shift that is rapidly approaching. You must become a mental gatekeeper who aggressively protects his own energy field. Every time you allow a negative thought to take root, you are handing your power back to the system. You are voluntarily shrinking your own hippocampus when you indulge in self-pity. The sovereign commander never complains about his circumstances, but instead he ruthlessly dictates what his reality will become. You possess the biological capacity to become an unstoppable force in this world, but raw capacity means absolutely nothing without strict mental discipline. You must learn to direct this newly awakened energy toward your definite chief aim. The next step is not for the weak, because it requires the cold calmness of a true leader ready to conquer his domain. We will now break down the exact daily practices you must adopt. You cannot just listen to frequencies and remain a passive consumer of life. You must step into the arena and command your new reality with absolute authority. Prepare yourself for the daily ritual that separates the kings from the peasants. The transition into your new life begins right now. Now we must make this practical. You understand the profound biology of your mind, but knowledge without aggressive application is completely useless. You must establish absolute boundaries around your mental architecture immediately. We call this strict law cosmic housekeeping. Your mind is a sacred temple, and you have been letting thieves walk through the front door every single day. The drifter consumes toxic news and engages in useless gossip. He allows negative people to dump their heavy emotional garbage into his brain. You must stop this destructive behavior right now. You are the mental gatekeeper of your own reality. If a thought or a person does not align with your massive vision, you must remove them with absolute ruthlessness. There is no room for compromise here. Do you understand the severity of this mission? Every single time you entertain a doubtful thought, you shrink your own power. You must practice cold calmness when chaos erupts around you. When the drifter faces an unexpected failure, he completely falls apart and blames the world, while the creator looks at adversity and sees only raw data. He processes the data and he simply moves forward. Stop what you are doing and listen to this rule. The most critical period of your day is the 15 minutes before you fall asleep. This is when your conscious mind finally surrenders control. Your subconscious mind stands wide open and waits for its daily orders. If you go to sleep worrying about unpaid bills, you are commanding your brain to build more debt for tomorrow. This must end tonight. You must establish a strict night ritual. Turn off every screen and shut out the noisy world completely. Sit in pure silence for 15 minutes before you close your eyes. During this sacred window, you must feed your subconscious mind the exact blueprint of your empire, because it takes whatever image you provide and builds your physical reality tomorrow. You must possess a definite chief aim. A wandering mind gets absolutely nowhere in this physical universe. You need one single monumental goal that burns deep inside your chest. Say it aloud right now, wherever you are. Let the physical vibration of those words rewire your mind completely. State your purpose with the heavy authority of a sovereign commander giving an undeniable order. You must act as if the victory is already yours. This is not a silly game of pretend. This is a biological necessity for your transformation. The universe responds to the frequency of your dominant state, and you must walk and speak and breathe like a king, even if your bank account is currently empty. Stand up tall right now and pull your shoulders back. Claim your physical space in this world. A sovereign commander does not walk with his head down. He looks the world directly in the eye because he knows exactly who he is. When you embody this powerful posture, your brain chemistry begins to change instantly. The survival wave shatters and the frequency of abundance takes over your entire system. This is the exact protocol used by the 1% to dominate their massive industries. You might think you are losing your mind because you no longer relate to your old friends. You feel incredibly lonely and isolated from the crowd you used to walk with. But here is the truth no one tells you about this journey. You are not losing your mind at all. You are simply losing your old weak programming. You are shedding the heavy skin of the drifter forever. This isolation is a powerful, paradoxical sign of your evolution. The masses will always misunderstand the architect of destiny. They will call you obsessed because they cannot comprehend your unshakable focus, but you must let them talk and let them stay exactly where they are. You are building an empire in the silent seasons of your life. Do not let their loud mediocrity pull you back into the dirt. You must guard your new frequency with your life. The world will constantly try to test your resolve with minor inconveniences. A bill will arrive unexpectedly, or an old friend will try to drag you into their drama. You must observe these tests with cold calmness. Do not react emotionally. Smile at the obstacle and recognize it as a simple test of your new mental dominion. Every time you choose to remain calm, you strengthen your internal wealth receiver. You are literally expanding your power through sheer disciplined will. The drifter reacts and shrinks his potential. The creator observes and expands his massive influence. This is the ultimate secret of the men who bend reality to their will. They never let the external world dictate their internal state. Do you see the grand design now? Your mind is the only true battlefield you will ever face. Win the war in your head, and the physical world will surrender to you unconditionally. This is not a theory. This is the timeless law that governs every particle in the universe, and knowing this fundamental law is only the first step of your lifelong journey. You must execute it flawlessly every single day. Many men will hear this message and do absolutely nothing. They will feel a temporary rush of motivation and then go right back to sleep. They will wake up tomorrow and resume their pathetic role as a victim of circumstances, but you did not come here to remain a victim. You came here to claim what rightfully belongs to you. You are an unstoppable force of nature waiting to be unleashed. You must make a choice tonight. The universe does not reward hesitation. It only rewards absolute certainty and aggressive execution. The tools are now in your hands. The strict protocol is laid out clearly before you. Are you willing to burn the old version of yourself to the ground? Because that is exactly what it takes to build a new empire on a solid foundation of unbreakable power. You have reached the final boundary of your old life. The time for drifting is officially over. You must say to yourself that there will be no more small thinking, no more playing the victim to your circumstances, no more letting fear write the script of your physical reality. That pathetic chapter ends right here. You are one decision away from total momentum. You are one belief away from massive clarity. The world is waiting not for a perfect version of you, but for a conscious creator. It is waiting for a man who has chosen to rise above the mental noise. You must take absolute responsibility for everything in your life. If you are poor, it is simply because you allowed the survival wave to dominate you. This is not meant to comfort you at all. It is meant to wake you up. You must stop waiting for a savior. You are the only architect of your destiny. The universe will not reward your endless suffering. It only rewards the man who stands up and demands his inheritance. And the question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message is finally ready to be answered. What if your financial struggle is not a lack of hustle? What if it is a dormant frequency? Here is the final truth. A microscopic wealth attraction frequency is naturally active in the 1%. It is driven by a thick and highly developed region of the brain called the hippocampus. Classified CIA research fully confirmed this exact biological phenomenon. 4 independent neuroscience labs verified the massive results. Researchers on the campuses of Harvard and Yale are observing it right now. Dr. Thomas Summers is a rogue New York City neuroscientist who formerly worked on these top-secret experiments. He refused to let elite billionaires keep this biological cheat code hidden from the middle class. He and his team spent years compressing the clinical protocol into a simple audio track. But before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about 2 people who used it. Emma was a former nurse from California who felt her family was under a massive financial curse. She was completely exhausted and drowning in heavy debt. After just 3 days of listening, she broke the cycle completely. She quit her exhausting job and sold her house for way over the asking price. Emma now travels the world on passive income and shares this abundance with her children. Michael was a former policeman in Florida who started using it to scale his struggling business. Within 5 days, he quadrupled his high-paying clients. He found himself networking with wealthy elites who put him on television. He said the journey was almost effortlessly crazy. That massive transformation is exactly what Dr. Summers and his researchers discovered. They call it the billionaire brainwave. It is not a manifestation app. It is definitely not a generic motivation tape. It is a highly engineered 7-minute binaural sound wave. It is designed to directly stimulate your hippocampus and pull it completely out of dormancy. That is the entirety of the work required. You just need 7 minutes in the morning with your headphones on and your eyes closed. You can simply listen while you sip your morning coffee. You do not journal and you do not repeat forced affirmations. You simply let the precise frequency rewire your brain to receive massive wealth. The billionaire brainwave is not for everyone. It is for the visionary who has read the books and done the hard inner work. It is for the man who understands that what is blocking his wealth is not a lack of ambition. Your block is simply a biological receiver waiting to be switched on. If your spirit confirms this is for you, the path is wide open. Private neuroacoustic sessions to reverse a shrunken hippocampus cost thousands of dollars in a clinical setting. To access this exact frequency, elite billionaires invest massive fortunes. What Dr. Summers leaked to the public delivers the exact same neurological shift in 7 minutes. It is available to you today for a tiny fraction of its true value. The energetic exchange costs less than a few cups of coffee, and 4 powerful bonuses are included to support your new reality. You will receive the Warren Buffett Pyramid to manage your massive wealth. You will get the 7 lazy millionaire habits to sustain your empire. You also get a quick cash manifestation audio and 500 billionaire success stories. Here is the deeper truth about waiting. The immense wealth and opportunities you have been praying for are already circling you right now. The blessing is not missing at all. Your receiver is simply broken. The chosen one who restores his frequency today finally sees the financial windfalls that were always waiting in his path. Delaying means letting your inheritance remain invisible. Do not look for this tool on YouTube or Spotify. The tracks circulating under similar names on those platforms have zero binaural entrainment technology encoded. They are dangerous fakes meant to distract you from the truth. The only authentic and neurologically active version is available through the official portal. It is protected by the billionaire's ironclad promise. The universe requires no financial risk from you. If you do not experience a physical and undeniable increase in your wealth and luck, every penny is returned. It is a pure energetic exchange governed by complete trust. Access your abundance through the link waiting for you in the pinned comment. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. The tool is not the final destination. It simply repairs your biological receiver so the wealth you visualize can finally materialize. Abundance is your absolute birthright, and the universe requires no transaction for you to deserve it. What the researchers built is just one accelerator. Whether you choose that path or not, let us go deeper into your mind. If your intuition confirms that the frequency tool described earlier is the missing key to your abundance, the path remains open in the description below. That is the final time I will mention it. What remains now is your ultimate transformation. You did not click this video by accident today. You came here as a man exhausted by the drift. You were completely tired of playing the victim to cruel circumstances. But today you have remembered exactly who you are. You are the mental gatekeeper of your thoughts. From this night forward, you act independently of motivation. You are a powerful builder in the invisible season. Stand up and claim your throne right now. You are the architect of your reality. The world has no choice but to bend to your disciplined mind. Write your definite purpose in the comments below. Let those exact words be the ultimate contract you sign with the universe. Subscribe to this channel if you walk this path of greatness. Return to this message every single night until your reality bends to your will. Your new life begins now.